The next one that we are going to do is this one. An S-fold card, or some people call it a reverse Z, or a fold back, either way. So what we're using for this one, I'm going to return that die into the set. We are using this one. We are not using this one for the actual card. However, I will show you that you, because we're going to make this border this time, I'm going to show you how to do it. You will need to cut one out like this. It just does help. It can be out of scrap paper, it can be out of anything, but it just does help. So let's put the dies to one side. So just remind ourselves, we're using the floral panels, the daisy, and this time we're using this die. The last one we used this, and this one's just using this die. Oh, and the dragonfly. Oh, phew! Woo. I'd hidden the dragonfly. That could have been terrible. So I am using for this white stamping card, and this is Foundation Creative Expressions Foundations Pearl card, and the colour is called Steel. Now you might wonder, well, what's this? Now that we're going to create using this. So this is Cosmic Shimmer Luster Polish, and this one is Snow and Ice, and it literally just makes your card into a pearly card. It's literally almost like a silver pearlized glitter effect, and it's really, really simple. So I'm going to move that to one side because that's our base card that we're going to fold in a moment. Don't want to be making a mess of the wrong pieces. So just going to show you how to use this. So the top unscrews and the polish is in it. It's quite a gel kind of consistency. It's not a cream or like a paste. It's very much a gel. And then the brush, I say the brush, it's a sponge, sorry, is in here, in there. Now this works fine, but you can also use it, for example, through a stencil with a hard stencil brush, or you could use it with a spatula through a stencil. It doesn't have to be this. This is quite soft, so it's quite squidgy. If you want to put them over the top of stencils, I would suggest perhaps something that's a little bit harder than this, because it has a tendency to squidge into all the bits. That said, it's a really great applicator. Can you see what I mean by it being quite gel-like? Jelly, almost. It's great for this, and that's literally all you need to do. Nothing else. It just goes on over the top like that, and it doesn't take too long to dry. I have already got one ready, but this one would probably be ready if we needed it. Anyway, so that's made our. You can already see a nice little orange fingerprint. I do apologise. Things are going to be a little bit tainted. I didn't think that through, really, did I? Should have done that. The pixie powder one at the end. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to one side. The reason it's curling is just because of the moisture in the luster polish. I'm going to put that over there, and I am just going to clean up this before we start the next part. Okay, so we're going to score our card. And just bear with me a minute so that I make sure I'm folding this the right way. Otherwise, the way my brain's going at the moment, I'll be scoring it in the wrong places. So, with most, probably all my base cards, I usually start with an A4. I do sometimes buy packs, but I tend to make my own. So this is an A4 piece of white stamping card, and all I've done is I've just cut it down to 6 inches along the length. So it's now 6 inches, and we're going to put it onto our scoring board. Get my scoring tool, and we are going to score. I'm just double checking so I get this right, at 2 7/8. there. And we are going to score, I'm going to turn it over because the fold is going to go the other way, at 5 7/8. There, okay. 5 7/8 is a measurement I don't generally forget because that is usually roughly half of the length of an A4. So we're going to bend that one that way, and let's line it up there, and then this one comes back over the top. Okay, it isn't quite, you can, faff around with the measurements if you really want to make it exact, but for me that's enough. Okay, so that's our base card made. Now I decided that not to faff around with the inside. I quite like a big area of white. I know some people don't, so I've gone ahead and I've cut my steel and a plain bit of white for there, and I've also cut my piece there, and we are now going to create the other pieces. So that's all ready and waiting for us. So I just realized I just created a lovely piece of card with polish and forgotten that I do need to cut the die. So I'm just going to grab myself another piece there. That's fine. Don't need a whole piece. There we go. So I don't want to use the edge die because I want it a little bit wider, because if you can see on this card, whereas with the other one, I had wanted the border to completely hide it. Here, I kind of want the border to be inside of the out. Does that make sense? You can see a little bit here and a little bit on the outside. Please do ask questions if I sound like I'm talking complete weird stuff. In my head, it makes sense, but it might not to you. So, right, so I'm going to put it not too close to the edge, so it gives me enough room to maneuver. So I need some tape. We are going to take this down, and we are going to put that there and up there. Okay, and I'm going to get my board here, and here. Oh, slippery flip top. That's loose, and that's going to go through the machine. Now, this die has some lovely embossing, and I found that you don't need to run it through again to get the texture on it. In fact, I found that when I did try to do that, the pressure was too much, and it actually caused it to tear at the bottom. So I am not going to emboss it. If your machine doesn't have as much pressure, in fact, you can see from the back already. You can see that the and that's my dirty fingers rubbing over it. You can see that it's already embossed, and you can see how cleanly it's cut too. So I'm going to remove the tape. Maybe we'll use that machine that's just moved. We're going to take the tape off. There we go. Last bit. Off. Okay. And you can see that that's all fallen out. And you can see how, just with that one pass, how beautifully you can see the texture on there, how well that's already embossed. You don't need to do it again. Now I am just going to clean this off because I do need it for the last of our things in a bit. So let's put that back with the rest of the dies in here. Okay, and we'll clean up the rubbish. Okay, right. So now we need to cut a border around this. So I'm going to do it on the reverse so that you can't see the pencil lines. Now, if I recall rightly, and I am just going to double check, I think I did. Yeah, we'll kind of go with that, I think. I pretty much did half an inch. So what I'm doing is I am lining up my ruler, the line of my ruler, along the inside edge of where it's cut out. And I am going to find a pencil, and I am going to just draw a line down. Because it's on the back, it doesn't matter because it won't be seen. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do the same on this edge. Line up on my ruler. This is a Crafter's Companion ruler, and but Tim Holtz does a similar one. I really like these ones that have got the squares in there, because it really, really does help when you are trying to line things up like this. And then there, and then we're going to do there. Okay. Now am I going to do this with my ruler? No, I'm going to try and do this one on the machine. Guillotine. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a machine? You just go there. That's right. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad. Oh. And again, this might be like the one we did earlier, where I might just have to go in and just do a little bit more of a slice off the edge, but it's somewhere to start. Come on, go through. Okay. Thing I'm going to check is oh, that's right. It was a bit. It does. Okay, so it fits the width of my card that I've already cut, but not the length. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little trim at the bottom and a little trim at the top. Okay. And let's see now. Yeah, that'll do. Probably do with a little bit more off the bottom. I am faffing now. I am faffing. There we go. Okay. Now, those bits. So we have these bits, and oh, not the right way, these bits here. And what I need to do now is to create this border. Now this is a little bit fiddly, but you know, you don't have to do one. I just like that effect. So what I have got, what I have got is a piece of the card like we created, and then on the back, what I have done, and I said earlier, it helps to have one of these already cut out. Now, if you are when you get new dies, I don't know if you're like me, you test cut them anyway. So if you test cut it and then just pop it in the pack, then you've got this already. So what I did was I laid this down. In fact, I laid it down face front because that will go that way. So I've laid it down face front. And what I did, you can just about make out my pencil marks on the inside of the cut edge. Okay, you see those there. So that's the internal part of there. Okay, now what we want is for this border to sit just away from that. So I've drawn my first lines, and I think it was about 1/8 of an inch. I think I went 8. Yeah, so about 1/8 of an inch away. I've drawn my first set of lines. Okay, and then my second set of lines, I've drawn 1/4 of an inch from there. Okay, so what I have now, in theory, is a 1/4 inch border. Okay, so I'm going to move my my inking mat off, because the middle of this, unless you've got one of those trimmers that you can lift, so the cutter only goes down when you want it, and then you can do it on a trimmer. But if you don't, then you're going to need, like me, to cut this by hand. So I'm going to use this ruler, and I am going to find my knife, which I put somewhere safe. There it is. Okay, so now the other thing I tend to do when I'm cutting is the bit that I want to keep, I tend to have under my ruler, because knives tend to slip, and well, they do for me anyway. And it's better if it slips into the bit that you don't want than to slip into the bit that you want to keep. It doesn't always work. I'm a bit ham-fisted with this, but we're going to go. So I'm going to cut from here to here, and a bit like before, it looks like I need a new blade, but a bit like before, I'm just going to go gently. I'm not kind of like really forcing it, and I'm going to go a couple of times. Because what I don't want to do, this is a coated cardstock, and the last layer that we're going through is that coating on the front. And I know when I did the one on the sample, I did tear the edge a little bit. We want to be as careful as we can. So again, turn it round, and I'm going to do the same here. So from here to here. So we're cutting out this internal bit. Now, if on the previous card you didn't, like me, have large square dies, then this is the way you can do it. It's exactly the same way, creating your borders. And I tend to do this as well. I don't do it so much. But I used to gut card a lot, and for those of you that know that term, you understand. If you don't, what it means is I always used to be quite tight with my card. So, for example, if I show you here, this bit of card here, well, all that bit in the middle is not being seen. So I would cut the middle of it out to use on something else, and that's called gutting. Depends how precious the card is. If it's a really lovely bit of card and I haven't got much left, then I do tend to gut it. So our next side here, we're going to again, a little bit at a time. You'll feel when you're through. There we go. I felt that there. I don't think it's through at the top though. Yeah, we're through. Okay. And then this piece here. And this is when I lift it, I find that my board was dirty and everything's got ink on it on the other side. Not to worry. Okay. Okay. Now, it's not coming out. And there's a reason for that, because I am terrible about getting into the corners. So once I'm done, all I do is I just go back with my knife and get right into the corner, and then it will pop out. So that one, yeah, that one. That's all it is. It's just I'm a little bit short of the corners on each one. Yep, that one, and then this one here. Oh, let's line it up so we're cutting straight. There we go. So we have our inner part cut out. There we go, put that away. And then I'm going to now try to use the guillotine, cut the outer bits. You know, if you draw long enough lines, then you can kind of see where they are on the edges. I think that's okay. That's that one. Good. And then one up there. And in there. That one. And then that one. And then our last edge. Okay, so we now have our lovely little border. And these bits, particularly these bigger bits, I would not throw away. That bit I'm probably going to use in a minute. these bits I wouldn't throw away. They're great for like sentiment. So now, moment of truth. Does it fit like we hoped? Okay. Now, the reason it doesn't fit lengthwise is my own fault. And that's because I chopped it off, didn't I? I probably should have made this bit a bit bigger. But it does the job that I was hoping on either side. So can you see you've got the plain white. It's upside down, I'm sorry. The plain white on the inside, you've got the sparkle, and then you've got the plain white on the outside. And that's the effect I was going for. What I could do, well, I'm not going to. I could chop a little bit off of the top and bottom, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it like that and just have it showing down the sides. So that's there. Now, you also see that on mine here, I had the sparkly again. Part of me quite likes that with the steel. But anyway, I'll carry on with the way I did. So one of these bits that we've just discarded, we're going to get back, because we're going to stick this behind. I'm just going to find a bit that's going to fit. We're going to fit, that bit will fit. Okay. Is it wide enough? Just need to check that I probably wouldn't go for that. There's just not quite enough either side. So I probably will go for this bit and just cut it down slightly. Yeah, I'm just going to cut a little bit off the edge. You won't see this because this is going on the back. There we go. That'll do it. That'll do it. Okay, so we're going to stick that on the back with some glue. Glue would be good. We'll go with the big one because we won't, because we've got little intricate bits, haven't we? Okay, so just like the way we stuck the back bit onto the previous card, we're going to do the same. So this is face down. I'm not going all the way out to the edge. This is what we're focusing on. So I'm going around just on the outside of where it's cut in. Okay, and then on my lovely daisies here, and a little bit on the leaves so that they stick down. And on the leaves here. Okay, and then I am going to make sure that this is sparkly side down, because it's the sparkly side you want to see. So I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm not all stuck. Oh look, sorry, orange fingers again. I do apologise. Mucky. Right, so that's that done. Now on this one, I did attempt to raise this bit of the border up. And to be honest with you, it's okay. It's a little bit lumpy bumpy, so I'm probably going to stick this one straight down. The reason being, it's such a fine, thin bit. And I did do it with the glue gel. Literally, the width of the glue gel is the width of that. And so any slight squidge and it all came out. So for this one, we're going to make this bit flat and then raise this bit up. Whereas before I made that bit flush with that and raised this. You can also see that I've got a little bit of a jagged edge on my card there. So I'm just going to... There. Sorry. Yeah, so we do it that way this time. If you've got those really tiny foam pads, you could do it if you have the will to do it, because that would take you quite a long time. Or if you've got foam pad tape that you can cut into little strips as well, that would work. But I just think I was a little over ambitious trying to 3D this little bit because it was so thin. Okay, so we're going to just position this so we know it's going to go off the top and the bottom. But we're looking to get a little bit of white either side. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, let's just put that to one side for the moment. And we're going to put this together, and then we've got to sort out the sentiment. And this gorgeous little dragonfly has to be one of the most detailed, teeny dies that I've seen in a very long time. But I'm going to put that back on because it's a big area, so I'm going to go for the big glue if it's going to play ball. Let's see. It has been so far. There we go. So this bit goes in here. I mean, I didn't, but looking at it now, you could also put the other panel in there. That, you know, the one that we used on the first card, you could cut that out and put that flat in there to add a little bit more interest when you open the card. So I always tend to, I make a card and then when I start analysing, I think, oh, I should have done that. Oh, and I could have done that. You see my arrows? I have a tendency to do that. I'll do it. Sometimes, because these are not totally square because of the way you cut the A4, sometimes I cut the bit of card and then I think, why is it not fitting? So, for example, look, it's not going to fit that way. So I kind of put the arrows on to remind myself that it's that way up. I really do need that at times, particularly if I'm doing a lot of prep work. Keeps my brain the right way up as well. Okay, so now if you don't like the expanse of black there, you could make this a sparkly card and then have a white sentiment and a white dragonfly instead of a sparkly. You could emboss it with an embossing folder. There are other things you can do to add on to this one. So this pearl card is lovely. I love this colour. I didn't want to go for black. I didn't want it to be a very harsh one, and this pearl card is just beautiful. Okay, so we said we're going to raise this up this time. So I need some blue gel. Ooh, that was my finger that cracked there. Okay, there we go. Enough blue gel on there. And put that there. And I'm going to put the ribbon on while I think about it too. And then we'll sort out the birthday and the happy birthday. The birthday and the happy birthday. No, we won't. Happy birthday and the dragonfly is what we will sort out. Then, so I'm going to put that there. A little bit of blue gel, and I'm just going to gently push that because I don't want to push it down too far. So we're going to put that over to the side and put that over to the side too. And we need, we need the dragonfly die. And that comes in this set, the ones with the daisy panels, and then the happy birthday die is from the trim craft set, the same one where we had the, oh yeah, that's right, don't move a wet card. Sorry, you can't see that, but it's the same die set that the Celebrate came from, the trim craft sentiment die. Excuse me. So we're going to cut, you can see, cut them out of the steel. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, if I can, just the detail of the imprint of that. And that is just from one cut through. It's beautiful. It's not just a flat, because sometimes with these little dies, you just get a flat shape. So we are going to use, if I can unstick myself, let's put that lid back on. We're going to use a little strip of the pearly card we made. We'll just clean out that die. A little bits left in it. We're going to use the happy birthday, and we're going to use the little dragonfly, and we're going to cut those at the same time. We'll get some tape. Excuse me. I'm going to have a drink while this is going through the Gemini, I think. So, sorry, just a momentary, complete lapse there, what I was doing. So, put that through. and I will grab a drink. Whoop. Okay, that's me just skidding into the guillotine that's on the floor. There we go. So both dies have cut nice and cleanly. That little bit. Nice sparkly tape off of the thing, and these will just drop out. There we go. Again, beautiful detail on that dragonfly. Just gonna run the brush over this one, start releasing it, and there we go. Last little Y. Don't be tempted to yank them because that little Y on the end is quite delicate. Let's just clean that off. Before we start, I'll put that in there with that. So it is, and the dragonfly as well. So I know where that one is. So we now have 2 happy birthdays and the 2 dragonflies, and we're just going to glue those down. Now, like I said, you could have gone and the other way and put the sort of the luster polish card here, and then used white card for these. I quite like the plain white there. So yeah, okay. Tweezers. There they are. Tweezers. Right, so we're going to start. I'm also just going to grab a scrap piece of card here to block things on, and I'm going to put the lid on this one so that it doesn't dry up, and my little one out here. Okay. Oop, don't lose. Oh, don't lose the pin. It's sticking to me. I'm not going to be able to lose the pin. Okay, I'm going to start with the steel pearl one, and a bit gunky at the end. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. So we're going to just dab, dib, dab, dab. You can tell my brain's gone, can't you? Oh, fuzzy cold brain I've got. There we go. So we're just going to put that one at the bottom here. And then this one. The luster polishes, and there's all sorts, there's opaline polishes, I think, as well. If you just need a small amount of a pearly type of card, they're perfect, rather than, you know, cutting into a big sheet. There we go. And then first dragonfly, the little grey one, grey steel one. Put him there. And then the little white one to go on top. There we go. There we go. Got a nice little drop shadow on our beautiful dragonfly. So far then we've had 2 different ways of using the die set. The info, isn't it? Sorry. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. So we've got 2 cards and 2 different ways. This card just uses this, and we've just used the cut-in. This card uses just the cut-in part of this and the dragonfly. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to make our final card with this die set, and we're going to use all of the dies. So we're going to create little cut-out panels that we're then going to layer on.